Hello and welcome to Unit 4. What's going on this particular week? There we go, perfect. What's going on this particular week is we're starting to get into some of the decision structures and branching. And the idea, they call it branching, and the idea is you have, sorry, let me readjust this. Okay. So here's the path of your program. So far what we've had is, this is the path of my program. It goes in a straight line. Everything is perfectly fine. What branching will do is it reaches a point in your program, and you kind of copied it. You may or may not understood what it was, but the idea is, here's my program, and if the values equal something, then I'm going to branch off and do a certain thing, and then maybe get back to my main program. And then if I'm coming down and the values equal something else, I'm going to branch off a different way, perform certain actions, and then come back to the main program. So you start getting these, if you're making a flow chart, if you're a flow chart guy, what happens is you start to get these diamonds with possible decisions that you can make and things along those lines. So those are kind of things to remember as you go through. So one of the questions it asks, you have a string that contain one of 6 possible values. Depending on the value, a certain action will be taken. What type of conditional check would you use and why? For example, would you use an if-else if or a select case? Interestingly enough, you can use, and you can give me your reasoning and walk through it and things along those lines. You can use an if-else if, not wrong. You can use a select case, also not wrong. A rule that I usually look at is that if I'm trying to do more than about 2 choices, I look towards a select case. Because when you're looking at the select case, what you have to remember is that the select case will usually only trigger, well, the select case will trigger any of them if it's true. However, if you set them up in a certain way, then you can make it conditional that it'll exit out of things in a certain way and then be done with the program. And there's some different ways, and I'm going to show you. But the select case can be done where multiple things trigger, or it can be done where only one thing's triggered, or one thing triggers. And that's very, very helpful if you're trying to say only one of these things will happen and none of the rest will happen. And with the if-else, if multiple things possibly happen, or you want to trigger and it gets kind of in this weird scaffolding and you're trying to keep track, okay, this is this and this is this. For me, when it gets over 2, select case is awesome. But it's not necessarily wrong or right if you choose the other one way or another. So far, keep up the videos. They are really, really good. Some people have forgotten some elements, and I've had some individuals ask, well, what happens if I haven't gotten that in? Usually what I'll say is, if it's a matter of you just demonstrating it, I'll say, hey, send it to me. And what's happened before is I'll have individuals that are trying to step through the criteria, realize I haven't done a criteria, change it while I'm watching in the video, and then meet the criteria. That is great. I love to see that, because what that's doing is you go, oh, I just forgot this. Let me make that change. And I obviously can see you make that change. And you're kind of, I get a general feel for your competence where this is concerned. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate your efforts so far, and I look forward to seeing what you do this week.